So hello again. I'm here to talk about American domestic politics, of course, because that's what I do. Anyways, I'm going to highlight and show you guys an example of how the Trump coalition is starting to crack. The dam is truly cracking. The foundation is falling apart. And I know people like Trump are going to be in denial about this and say that we're making this up. It's all hyperbolic. No, it's real. When you got the police association coming out calling out Trump and Pam Bondi for covering up the Epstein files, when you got former members of ICE that worked for the agency resigning out of disgust, saying that they were told to lie to the press about the wrongdoings of ICE and the agency itself, when you have people at a wrestling event protesting and saying "F ICE," that's not exactly the kind of environment where you're seeing liberal woke leftists hanging out. Okay, so these are regular people that are waking up and not liking what they're seeing. Okay, and some of these people were conservative leaning, I want to remind you. Okay, because if you remember the police association, a lot of the police associations were strongly behind Trump. Okay, people that work for ICE were very much likely pro-Trump. So I mean, you can't spin this and think it's going to change the reality. There's no spinning this. Like I said, this guy has a 61% disapproval rating. It's real. Okay, he's 24 points underwater. American people are done with him. You can say whatever you want. American people are done with him. And slowly the GOP is going to turn on him too when they realize their political careers are in turmoil. And I don't know if they're going to wait until 2026 when they lose a whole bunch of seats and then they're mad and they basically throw them under the bus as a fit of anger and protest and say we're done here. We're exiting the left stage here. We're done, which I do think is likely going to happen, considering what's happening to our country right now and how this guy is destroying it. You're going to watch the GOP turn on him because they got nowhere left to turn. Once they realize their political careers are over, they will stop standing by him. When the money stops coming in and they lose their power, okay, and they see the masses turn on Trump, the Republican Party will exit the stage. And they will throw a big F you at him on their way out. Because they're going to understand that because of his disaster, train wreck as a president, and the way he treated all his colleagues, okay, and what they had to stomach and put up with, and the anger and flack they had to get from their constituents. And then they ultimately had to suffer an awful electoral loss. You think these people are still going to be loyal to him when they realize their money's going to dry up? They're going to lose power. They're going to have the masses against them and their dear leader. Do you really think that the Republican Party is going to continue to stand behind that? No, they're not. It's going to start cracking. Okay. And again, most people, I don't care what your politics are not okay with the idea of a administration being involved in pedo rings, being involved in the E class and covering for that class. That's not going to set well with the majority of the public. I don't care what your politics are. Majority of the American public is not going to like the idea of the federal government nationalizing elections to try to strong arm their own power because they're afraid of losing, or auditing elections and trying to intimidate elected officials and sending ICE agents into the streets of states all over the country that they don't like, and effectively turning their own personal military on the American public. Majority of people are not going to like that. It's not going to set well with them. Because, again, we have a lot of disagreements and agreements in politics. But the one thing we all have in common is we like our freedoms. We like our right to protest. We like our right to disagree with our government. Okay? So the don't tread on me crowd, that's all of us at heart. Okay? Everybody's a true don't tread on me crowd. They just don't know it. Now, I want to completely dismantle the fake tread on me crowd who thinks this is okay and still defending it. Because the real tread on me crowd is everybody. Okay? We all, as individuals, value and desire our freedoms and our rights. We all believe in everybody's inalienable rights, okay? That is not a partisan value. All right. That's a almost everybody value. All right. And you're starting to see the damn crap because people are turning towards a more solidarity kind of movement now. They're understanding what the real problem is now. They're walking outside their political bubble and understanding, oh, yeah, I don't like this at all. This is not making the country better. I don't like any of these people that are representing our country. Because anybody with a brain would see, they're not doing a good job. They're just enriching themselves and they don't care. Okay, that's just common sense. There is no Republican Democrat fighting this. There is no liberal versus conservative fighting this. This is just right versus wrong. And people are waking up and seeing that. And that's why you're seeing people that may not necessarily identify as the left who are waking up to this going, oh no, I don't like this at all. This is wrong. Okay? And like I said, there are former members of ICE that resigned because they were told to lie to the press about their wrongdoings. And they willfully knew the last two people they killed, yet alone others that they don't talk about in the media, that ICE killed, was wrong. They knew it was wrong in their heart. And that's why some of them resigned in disgust, because they were like, I didn't sign up for this. This is not okay. Because again, everybody values their individual freedom. All right. And when we talk about immigration enforcement, people were thinking immigration enforcement. They were not thinking sending ICE agents to churches or ICE agents to the streets to kill protesters or ICE agents to department stores and day labor and going after people or threatening to send them to Super Bowl events and stadiums. Like, people didn't sign up for this. They did not sign up for a over-encroachment police state to technically turn against American people, turn against its citizens. Nobody agrees with that. So the people that are still defending this, good luck. I guarantee you in 5 years, you're going to pretend like you never supported this. Because it's going to turn out to be a disaster. You guys are going to be sorry for ever supporting Trump. Okay? And you might be ostracized by society when this is all over, and you might regret your support. That day is coming. And it will go down the history books as a very negative light. So, again, it's not looking good. You better jump off that Trump train ship right now, because it's sinking like quicksand. All right, y'all. I'll show you in the next video what I'm talking about. See y'all later. Goodbye.